Saturday, June 2020, California is still dealing with lockdown. I guess the entire globe is still dealing with the pandemic of Covid-19. There's really no definitive answer just as of yet as to when it's going to all be somewhat normalized for at least for California. I know that much. But the rest of the world, depending on what country you're in, maybe you guys are doing much better with your economy, much better with your government, much better with your daily get along lives. I hope that you guys are all safe and doing well worldwide. Because if there's one thing that I've learned throughout life with the military, with being a Christian, is just that suffering together builds unity. When we were in boot camp, our platoon got tight because we had to go through a lot of stuff together. The push-ups, the getting up at 4:30 in the morning, the 5-mile runs, the 15-click hikes with full pack, and your rifle and your helmet and your water and your canteens and all the extra ammo and the chow, and you got to spread load that stuff throughout the platoon as you hump, as you're learning how to be a 0311 rifleman. Every Marine coming out of boot camp is an 0311 rifleman. So we start off with that hardcore infantry mindset, but when you graduate, you're a lot more unified with your brothers in the platoon because you suffered together. The drill instructors put you guys through hell, yeah, but when you suffer through that kind of stuff with somebody else other than just yourself, it has a way of bonding you and getting your confidence built up to get over things, to get through things, to believe in yourself, to believe you're going to be able to make it through anything. That's the beauty of suffering. When you see a professional athlete, whether it's a UFC fighter, a boxer, a football player, an NBA basketball player, a soccer player, baseball player, whatever the case may be, they're on a team and they suffer through things, which builds their character as they go for their prize, whatever that is. Championship, money, recognition, self-worth, all those things. It's because they're suffering, usually suffering as a group. Even if you're a boxer, which is a very individual sport, you have a team. Check out Floyd Money Mayweather, TMT, the money team, he calls it. So he can't take credit for everything by himself, even though Mayweather can come across kind of arrogant, and like I said, it's an individual sport, so he does put in a ton of work. But his dad's there, his uncle's there, his team is there, his trainers are there, his medical team is there, his friends, his girlfriend, his wife, whatever, all that, his kids, that's all part of his team, and they're suffering it with him. So when you get a big team like a football team, now you got 40 guys suffering with you, plus the coaching staff, plus the trainers, the doctor, the team doctor, the coaches, the owners. They're all in that with you. So when you win that Super Bowl, everybody on the team gets a ring, and that's including the coaching staff, the trainers, the doctor. The whole team gets a Super Bowl ring because everybody's suffering together. So on a positive note about this COVID-19 global pandemic, I'm just kind of talking about the fact that I'm hoping for good things in a unified way to bring the world closer together, because the entire planet is in a turmoil with violence, rape, racism, the evil desires of our heart. Just some really, really bad things worldwide. A lot of murder, a lot of corruption worldwide, not just America, worldwide. And so I look at that and I pray and hope for better things for all of us as human beings, because there's really just one race, and that's the human race. We're all the same. When you see dogs are different colors. They don't discriminate based upon the color of their fur. You put a whole bunch of dogs, like say you got 40, 50, 60, 70 dogs of all breeds and all colors, all sizes. You put that group of dogs outside in the pen and out in the backyard or something. Before long, they work out their little differences. They all know where they stand with each other. They all respect one another, and they play and they get along. And next you know, they're one big group, one big happy group, because they all worked out their problems within the first 48 hours. And everybody knows where they stand. They sniff each other's butts. They wag their tails. If they're in a bad mood, they growl. You know, you figure each other out. Nothing's perfect, but you don't have to kill and hate and rape. You just got to work it out. There's a lot of things we can learn about working things out by watching animals, and that's chimpanzees, dogs, birds, ant colonies. We can learn a lot from insects. Ants work as a team for the greater good. They sacrifice for the greater good. They don't get a lot of rest. Same with bees. And bees do a great service to mankind. They pollinate the flowers, which we need that for the air quality. We get honey out of it. They get honey out of it. It's just a win-win. Honeybees are one of the most incredible animals on the planet Earth. They provide such a great service, and they teach a valuable lesson on how to work for something bigger than just yourself. And I think we need to look at those lessons, those little small things that you pay attention to in life, like what bees do, what ants do, how dogs love. Dogs will love you even if you mistreat them. They'll forgive you. And that's sad that we mistreat our dogs, because I love dogs. I love animals. We mistreat each other. I'll tell you, this is another fact. Anybody who you see mistreating animals, they have a problem with their heart, and they will mistreat people. Something's wrong where they can take a living thing and abuse it, whether it's a dog or a cat or any kind of animal, and then they transfer that kind of animosity towards people as well. Because if you have something in your heart to where you're going to torture or kill or beat something that's alive, whether it's an animal or a person, you got some serious heart problems, serious conditional heart issues. And so for some people that's normal, and they think it's okay, and it's not. But they need to learn that it's not. It's just the same thing as when you look at the Bible. Once the church was scattered after Jesus was crucified, you know, he did rise after 3 days, amen, right? But when the church was scattered, there was some persecution, and they went to all over the place. And when Paul the apostle was in Greece, after he got baptized and everything, because he met the Lord on the road to Damascus, and you know, bright light and everything, and you know, he had scales on his eyes and all that stuff. And then he had this awakening. Then he went and got baptized as the Lord told him to do. The Holy Spirit told him, go get baptized, then go do your ministry, the ministry that I've given you, which in Paul's case was the ministry of the Gentiles. Why? Because the Gentiles were Greek and so forth. They weren't Jewish, so they didn't know the Lord's morality. And if you don't know the Lord's morality, you're going to do some immoral things, and it's to you normal, but it's not. So when they were doing their immorality, the sex, the drugs, the rock and roll, the homosexuality, the you know, sacrificing food to idols, the sleeping around with women, and stealing and cursing and drinking and all that stuff that they thought was okay. Well, it's not okay by God's standards, but they were getting judgment by the Jewish apostles and so forth, the other disciples of Jesus who were Jewish, who were kind of looking at them like, whoa, oh my gosh, how could you do that? Because they had a different way of being raised. Paul had an understanding. He said they need to be taught with patience and love, and not with judgment and rawr. And that's the problem I see in the world. Everybody's quick to judge. I don't do that. So therefore, they're terrible people because they do something that I don't do. You know, when you look at the different cultures all over the world, Africa has many cultures, different countries in Africa, South America, another continent with multiple countries, different cultures. There's a lot of Latin speaking people in South America, Colombia, Brazil, El Salvador, Central America, Mexico, which is still part of Northern America. It's on the North American continent. So the main thing is we're all in the earth together on this planet, but we all don't think the same. We all do things differently, but we're really quick to point out errors and mistakes when we can learn from the animals how to get along and how to respect each other and how to forgive one another and how to get over our problems. And it just surprises me that we haven't paid more attention to how Paul the Apostle taught that. He taught patience, love, forgiveness, charity. Basically, the Lord is everything and He can teach you everything. So if you give your heart to Jesus, and if we all decided to do that, guess what? There wouldn't be wars and all this nonsense. The sinful nature of our flesh is there. It's there. The only way to deal with it is to forgive yourself, because Jesus forgives you. Forgive others. Let things go. Get over yourselves and just get over the other stuff, the nonsense. There's a lot of petty little nonsense in the world going on. That little tweaks in your heart by surrendering yourself to the Lord fixes so many things. All that being said, ultimately, I'm just checking in with you guys. I'm at the park. I'm going to work out. I'm going to do some weight training, some resistance training, push-ups, dips, and I'm going to try to document some of that. But I'm going to sign off while I do this workout because I want to be focused. And I'm going to work out for about 35-40 minutes or whatever, and then I'm going to get some food. This is a really good park over here in Whittier, and there's not a lot of people here, but I'm glad to see that there are people out here working out, not being afraid and scared and everything. So anyways, that's all I got. I'll catch up with you guys, and I'll take some video and take some still shots of me doing my workout, trying to burn off these calories and stay healthy. And everybody, hey, be good to each other, forgive one another, and my prayer for all of you is to give your heart to the Lord. He will never let you down. Staff Sergeant Calhoun out.